Hello and welcome to this video of monitoring software usage with CQFlexMon. We're now going to have a little look at the license usage module. My name's Jeremy. I've been working at Symmetry now for 24 years. So historically been a hardware engineer, progressed to IT solutions consultant. I've always been involved in Autodesk software as well, helping our customers license the software and deploy the software, and now looking at CQFlexMon to help our customers monitor that software and see if we can help you with your subscriptions and the amount of licenses that you may or may not use. So today we're going to look at the license usage module. So we're going to have a look at this module here, license usage, and this is really going to give us some great in-depth information of who is using what product. So this is license usage is looking at the data that has been picked up from monitoring license managers. So a FlexLM server, for instance, but it could be Zoo for Rhino software. It could be a Sentinel HASP server. It could be a Sentinel RMS server or a CodeMeter server. So in this situation, what we're going to do is we're going to pick the software that we want to look at. Now we want to look at Autodesk software. We want to look at the yearly versions to give us granular information of the product, but not only the product, who is using those products. So we can pick multiple different servers. If you had multiple FlexLM servers, we could pick every single server. In this instance, this demo database has got one server, so we'll just leave it as all servers. We could pick specific computer names that we've picked up from monitoring the FlexLM server. We could also pick specific users. We could also group users. But again, we just want to see all computers, all users, for see who is using what product. We're going to pick Q1 2021, and then we're going to show the result. So what this information is who is using the Autodesk software across that period of time. So we can start to see that we've picked up the username. We're talking to the FlexLM server, we've picked up the username. Because CQFlexMon looks at Active Directory, we can start to see it's got the display name from Active Directory. We're picking up the computer name. We're also picking up information from the Active Directory for the department and the company job title. So we can start to see that this information and who's using what product for how long. So we can start to see that this user, Chris, has been using this product quite a lot, and he also uses multiple products. So a key thing there is if you're starting to see this information from your FlexLM server, as you're transitioning across from FlexLM licenses to user assigned licenses, this is where you can make those informed decisions of who should be using what product. So we can see here that this user has used multiple products out of the AEC collection suite, AutoCAD different versions, and Revit different versions. This user has only used Revit. Now it could be that if you was monitoring this FlexLM server for 6 months, you only ever saw this user using Revit. It could be when you transition across to user assigned licenses, they may only need a Revit license. This one here is a good case for flex tokens. So we can start to see that they're a team manager. So we've picked up all of the information. We've picked up that they're a team manager, but they've only used the product AutoCAD 2021 3 times. They've only used AutoCAD 2019 1 time. So across a period of time in a quarter, they're not using the software very, very often. Now, it could be that you have a conversation with this user. It could be that they don't need a license at all. It may be beneficial for them to be on a viewer. So the software gets de-assigned if they were on a user assigned license, or actually they just need the software uninstalled, a viewer installed. If they were actually using the software to produce drawings or models, it could be flex tokens. And we'll come on to that a bit later in another video. But this really does give us the information that you won't be able to find by using just normal Autodesk reporting tools. This gives us very, very granular information. We even take it into depth of exactly when they've started to use the actual software, exactly the times, the dates, and for how long. So we've also got some default reports for this information. So this default report that we've got here, we'll take the information in and start to populate the Excel template with the information, and we can start to see some different charts and some different graphs to help us. So this is really the raw information in the actual what you've seen in the report client. It takes it straight into Excel. And then we can start to look at different information in here, different company information, different user information. So this information that we've got here, it breaks it down into different departments. We also break it down into different software. So we can actually start to pick on different software. We could start to pick on 3D Studio Max, start to see these particular, as they're pivot tables, it's very, very easy to start to see what software. We can spot that actually AutoCAD 2016 is still in use, for example. It's a very old piece of software, and your current subscription may not legally allow you to use that software. So from an aspect, from a compliancy aspect, it's very, very good. Very, very quick way of actually seeing who is using what software and for how long. So hours per usage and license. We can start to see that we've got some different hours and usage figures. Hours per company. So this is really if your Active Directory structure was broken down into different companies, you could actually have this graph showing that information. We can start to see average users, hours per license. This is quite an interesting one where people think that Revit is their current product, their highest used product, but actually AutoCAD is still a very, very high used product in this organization. Hours per company, if your Active Directory structure was split using the company attribute, you could break that down. Hours per server, if you had multiple servers, you could see a very, very heavily utilized FlexLM server compared to one that wasn't. Unique users of software. So we've seen across that quarter 121 unique users of AutoCAD 2021. Unique users per server. So this is an interesting one. So we had 93 licenses on this FlexLM server, and yet that has actually serviced 225 unique users across that period. So what we've got there is if you had a 2-for-1 deal with Autodesk, you would end up with 186 licenses. It would appear that you would not be able to use assign a user a license and actually be in the same situation as your FlexLM server. So you would have to purchase more user assigned licenses once you transition across. And unique users per company, again, if your Active Directory structure was configured with different company information, we can break that down into the default template. So that's really the main default template that we would use for the license usage module. So thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next video.